fight we talked about last week. And why you sitting over here looking like that?
He was about to talk his shit. No, he did. No. He just did. That's all.
A fight that we was talking about last week. And I kind of hinted to everybody that was going to be the fight that was next. Everybody thought it was going to be Benavidez, Jesse Hart.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to happen.
Morrell, well, of course you knew it was happening. You trained Jesse Hart.
Yeah.
But David Morrell, David Benavidez is a go.
Yeah. Great fight. Great fight on paper. But what's his name? Morrell hasn't adjusted to being a professional fighter all the way. He's a good professional fighter. He's skillful. He got some tricks with him, but it's not going to be enough for Benavidez. Benavidez has been through the fire. The only fire Benavidez ain't been through was the Canelo fire. You know what I mean? But everything that you can go through in boxing, getting knocked down, getting back up, finishing guys late, finishing guys early, keeping your composure, boxing, brawling. He been through all that. He did all that. Morrell, this is going to be something new for him. It's going to look good for Morrell first 3 rounds, but it's going to get bad for Morrell after that. I'm telling you. It's going to get bad. That rate is going to be the rate. He not going to like that rate. The high rate for having a punch and keep a guy off you. He a setup artist, Cuban fighter, setup artist. He like to look for his shots and sting you and get out of there. But if he hurt you, he'll stay on your ass. This is the thing. He ain't seen nobody big as Benavidez. He ain't been in there with that. With that type of hand speed. Benavidez is not, skill-wise, not a lot better than him. It's not that. It's just he's a fighter. He's a real fighter. Morrell, we don't know what kind of fight Morrell got in him because Morrell ain't been in it under nothing. You know what I mean? Great fight.
Great fight in their primes. You know what I liked about this fight? I didn't hear about anybody's ticket sales. I didn't hear about anybody pay-per-view buys.
Right.
2 dudes in their prime, let's have it.
But that lets you know it's excuses with other fighters sometimes when they be talking like that. That was a great point, Mill. But don't get it fucked up. It's gonna be a performance on both sides. But I just think Benavidez is gonna get the better of it. Then after that, Mill gonna owe me a steak dinner, mashed potatoes, broccoli, and I'm good.
Hey, anybody that's watching, there's a luxurious steak dinner on the line for this fight. All the fixings, and it's gonna be a la carte. So when we order the mashed potatoes, it's gonna be the Husky John, mighty.
$30 bowl of mashed potatoes.
$30 and the appetizers.
Yeah.
Mighty, who you got in that? David Morrell, David Benavidez.
I got Benavidez.
Why?
He's the pressure fighter. He's more electric than Morrell. He's gonna try to box. Benavidez gonna walk up on him and crush him. Gonna walk right up and hit him. Bow! And he's gonna be in another dimension somewhere.
All right, Rob. So shit got heated at the media workout. David Benavidez, David Morrell Jr.
Yo, that shit was funny.
Yo, the whole time I'm thinking, bro, if he hit him with that belt, that fight is off because that shit would have split him.
Yo, he threw that shit from back here though. That shit's crazy.
Right. So what'd you think of the whole thing, the non-handshake? I felt like Benavidez, I'm going to say kind of embarrassed that he tried to play him. So he was on some, oh, you think this shit is a game, right? Mm-hmm. What was your thoughts?
I just think it's one of those situations where Benavidez is the older professional. He's more of the vet. David Morrell got a better amateur background, but he has the kind of like the attention of what the future looked like in that division. So he got more to prove to a degree. So it's kind of like, I'm not going to show you no respect from here all the way up until the last bell of the fight. And I'm gonna just do whatever I got to do to get into his head. He's going to use whatever, strategy he can to eventually get the torch passed down to David Morrell. So I think this is all part of the system. I don't think they really hate each other. I don't really think all that extra shit.
I don't know, man.
This is all part of the job, bro. Like this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? This ain't like a Devin Haney and Ryan thing where they actually brutally hate each other. You know what I'm saying? Like this is something where it's leading up to it, but once the fight is over, they gonna be cool.
It seemed like shit gets spicy in those Latin versus Latin
Ain't that shit
matchups.
crazy? Yeah, bro. That shit high.
Y'all take that
thing,
shit
man.
serious.
They take that. Man. We prideful, man.
Yeah,
We're
don't say
prideful
y'all.
individuals.
You included.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
We prideful. We prideful people, and you know that's how it is. We do that playing dominoes, bro. You know what I'm saying? I smack that Manchuchazo, smack that shit on the floor. What, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? But it's a pride thing. But I think it's all entertainment. It's entertainment as far as trying to sell it as far as what they need to do.
Is those rivalries like that deep? The Mexican, Puerto Rican, and then you add the Cuban. They've had a bunch of success in the amateurs and in the professionals. Do in your perspective, everybody wants to outdo the other two?
It's kind of like the football. You know what I'm saying? I'm an Eagles fan. I would never like Dallas fans. I would never like Dallas as a team. You know what I mean? I don't even like going through Dallas to get somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like that's just how it is. But as far as that, yeah, like it's always a rivalry, no matter what.
Who does the bad blood favor?
I'm gonna give it to Morrell. I'm gonna give it to Morrell. Yeah, because Benavidez been here before. He talked this shit before. He been on this stage before. He been on this stage numerous times. Talked this shit, backed his shit up. Morrell still got so much to prove. He hasn't fought the type of guys that David Benavidez fought. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
David Benavidez announced that he's going to face David Morrell Jr.
Man,
Yo.
that's a real good fight, man. That's a real good fight. I like both of them, man. So I can't tell you nothing bad about them, but I just want to see that, man. I think that's like a 50-50 fight right there. But then I'll go more towards Morrell. But I was watching both of them last fights, you know what I mean? You know, you got to put that together too. Because they just moving up in weight, you know what I mean? You know, and look, both of them look a little different when they moved up to 175. So we'll see when them two fight though. But that's a good fight. That's a fight that I just want to sit back and look at.
Now you got Benavidez, the Mexican stalker, comes forward, throws a lot of punches, really fast hands. And then you got Morrell, Cuban style, but can punch.
Yeah,
right?
and don't mind fighting you.
Yeah.
And don't mind. That's why I'm saying it's who get to who first, man. That's right. And so you got to remember, Morrell's a puncher too.
Yeah.
Now, Benavidez will beat you with, hurt you and stop you with accumulation of punches. So you put them two fights together, man, you got a hell of a fight, man. You know what I mean?
As far as it goes, they were just at 168 pounds.
Yeah.
Now they up to 175. Who does the 7 pounds, who does that give an advantage to?
I think both of them the same, because if you watch the last fight, they didn't do normally what they do at 168. You know, they were stopping guys and, you know, beating them guys down. But these their last fights they had, they both seemed the same, trying to adjust themselves to that weight, to me.
What is some of the things, like, you're not normally, since you don't fight at that weight, you're not as fast?
You have to get used to that weight. Some people are just natural, you know what I mean? You can move right up and take care of, you know, certain people in that weight, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you got some guys, you know, you got to adjust their body for that, you know what I mean? You know, and that's what it looked like to me with them two. Look like they got to make more adjustments to their body at that weight. So this time, when they fight, they should be all right then, you know, because they broke the what you call them, the water barrel, whatever you want to call it. They, you know what I mean?
You've touched on before. Well, we got a great fight February 1st, man. Morrell, Benavidez, that fight's gonna be bananas.
that whatever the pay-per-view sales was going to be before, they just went up about 40% after that. I don't even know what that was. Press conference or media day. I don't know what it was.
Workout.
But
Yep.
yeah, that was awesome, man. They're going to fight. That's going to be a brutal fight.
I mean, who would you lean towards? And are you kind of the same belief of like a lot of people where you just like, yo, Morrell is a really damn good fighter, but it's a little early for him to be fighting Benavidez?
See, I think that Morrell is physically mature. See, I think that he's more physically mature than what Brian Norman is right now. When I was saying Brian Norman is a little young. I think Morrell is physically mature. I just don't know if he fights with the sense of purpose to beat Benavidez yet. You know, like he kind of like just overwhelms his opponents. He just kind of just comes downhill on them and just like beats on them. You know what I mean? They're just too small. They just can't be in the ring with him, and he just destroys them. That's basically what he's been doing.
Yeah.
And I haven't had to see him make a second half adjustment. I haven't had to see him fight a guy and not know whether he was winning after the 6th round. I never saw him, you know, not be in control of a fight. Even though he had a tough fight the last time, that was more of a guy just being pesty with him, and he was winning the fight. And the guy kind of like scraped his way back in the fight. There's a little bit of difference is after 6 rounds and you looking at your corner and your corner say, well, it's even or you're down. You know what I mean? And he got to make the adjustment that we see Usyk make time after time. I'm not saying he can't make it, but I haven't seen him make it. And he's not as defensive as a lot of the Cuban fighters.
Yeah.
I think he's more offensive minded. And a lot of times the best thing you do, you become infatuated with that. And I'm picking Benavidez. I think Benavidez has a slight edge. I think Benavidez IQ and defense is better than people give him credit for. Mm-hmm. And in the war, the guy who's not getting hit as clean, you know, usually has an advantage. But listen, Morrell definitely has the talent. He definitely has the physicality. And just because we haven't seen him do the things I stated, it's not a criticism. I just can't give him credit for something that I haven't seen him do. He might have that in his bag of tricks, and he just hasn't had to use them yet. You know, he's winning fights with what he's winning the fights with. He may not have to use his ability to adjust or box or keep away or take a guy's power away or take a guy's best punch away. He may not have had to do that, but he may be fully capable of it. We're going to find out against Benavidez, but my pick is Benavidez, probably by decision. You know, I don't know if he's going to stop him. If he's going to stop him, I think it'll be late because Benavidez is more of a wear-down fighter. But I like Benavidez. I think Benavidez might be a generational talent. I think he got the ability to be special, and I think that his defense, again, and his IQ was underrated. Only thing I didn't like was that he looked kind of big for a fight February 1st. I was like, wow, man, he looked really big, where Morrell kind of looked in shape. Yeah. But, you know, maybe that's a body type thing. I'm not, you know, maybe it's just his body type. I don't know, but my eyes tell me I've been around David, and he did look a little big. I was like, damn, you know, they fighting February 1st. I thought he'd be a little bit slimmer than that, you know. So that's the only thing that gives me a little bit of a pause, you know, because he looked like he was about 210 pounds, maybe 200 pounds. I don't know. I don't know. But just the naked eye, he looked a little big for a fight February 1st. But he's a big guy. But I'm picking Benavidez.
Last question, Quil. Fight that I've been waiting for. David Benavidez, David Morrell Jr. at 175, now 68. What you think of that?
Benavidez.
You said that too fast. Quil.
Benavidez. To be honest with you, one of the only guys that I think give Benavidez a big problem is like a guy like Jesse Hart. And they were supposed to fight. You know what I mean? But I think a guy like Jesse Hart that give Benavidez problems because Jesse can't, is not only he can punch, he got a lot of heart, and Jesse got a long, beautiful jab. So Benavidez ain't just gonna be able to run in there at Jesse. You know what I'm saying? Without facing the consequence. You know what I'm saying? And if Benavidez put his head down and try to go to the body, that uppercut that Jesse got is beautiful, man. I never seen Jesse hit a guy with a clean uppercut and not hurt him or knock him out.
David Morrell Jr. Cuban,
Jr.
skills, power,
yeah,
size.
Yeah. But you gotta remember, Morrell got one gear, and that's to go forward. You know what I'm saying? I just seen it. Yeah.
I just seen that, man.
I just seen Morrell have a fight against somebody. He was
Hot Rod.
He was having a tough time. He was having a tough time with that guy. You know what I'm saying? To step up and fight the monster, And the monster punching in combinations, and come on, you ain't gotta go power punch with that. You know what I'm saying? That dude, Benavidez ain't no joke, man.
Somebody could say David Benavidez didn't look like David Benavidez against Gavazic. I can't judge them by their debuts at 75.
Okay.
I'm expecting both of them to be at their best in this fight.
I like Benavidez, man. He's a monster. He punching combination. He can punch. He could take a good shot, and he ain't melting all the way down to 68. Come on, man. He gonna be stronger at 75.
Hans Temmerstow, here with Andre Rozier. How you feeling today, man?
What the deal? What the deal? What the deal, nephew? What the deal?
Just another day of getting it in, man. Just another day.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's jump right into it, man. This weekend we have a huge fight. David Morrell, David Benavidez. A lot of shit talking, a lot of build up. What do you think about the fight? How do you think it's gonna play out?
Well, first and foremost, let me say I'm happy to see two young, formidable athletes meeting each other, and not when they're 36, 37, 38 years old. Let me just say that much. And this is a fantastic fight. David Benavidez, the monster. David Morrell, the sharpshooting articulator from Cuba. There's a lot of variables going into this one. Me, myself, I think that David Morrell, although he's not as experienced in the professional ranks as David Benavidez is, I have to give him credit because he has so many amateur fights and he's fought some of the best fighters in the world in the amateur rankings. He knows what it is. And they're comparable in size, in weight. I think Morrell is a bigger puncher than Benavidez is. Benavidez is a busier puncher than Morrell is. It's going down the line. It's really going down the line. But I'm favoring David Morrell. I think that he's going to be just a bit smarter, and that's going to be one of the differences in this bout.
Do you think he boxes his way to a decision, or do you think he finds the fight-ending blow before 12 rounds?
Well, I think he's definitely going to be ready to box his way to a decision for sure. But he can punch, and if he gets to David in one of those moments, it could be lights out.
If Benavidez does lose, where does he go from here? How do you think it'd be difficult for him to kind of rebuild his career, so to speak?
Well, then that's the question that demands the answer of how did he lose? Did he lose like Bivol lost to Breadman, and where there might be a rematch? Is he outclassed, or worse to worse, is he stopped in the fight? So it really depends. It could be a very close fight where one punch decides the decision. So we don't know yet. We have to wait and see.
If David Morrell does win, like you say, should he target a guy like Canelo, or should he just wait for the winner of Benavidez versus Bivol rematch?
I think he needs to wait for the winner of the fighters in his weight class. Mm-hmm. I know he's not going to go back down to 168. Those guys are big anyway. So that would be really redundant. AKA what happened to my man Roy when he went from heavyweight back to light heavyweight. It didn't fare well, and I hated when he did that because I thought he was at the pinnacle of all he did, become a heavyweight champion of the world. That regimen to get back to 175 was very costly, and I think if any of these guys think about going back to 168, it'll be the same.
Is David Morrell the guy to, because I know you're picking Benavidez again in the rematch with Bivol, is Morrell the guy to unseat Benavidez?
It's a good question. Benavidez is an all-time great. Even at the age of 40, I think he's going to be. He's still doing it like a young man. He trains very hard. His punching capability is very concussive, and he renders people on the other side of the fence saying, "What the hell just happened to me?" So I would dare to say I need to really see what happens in this fight on Saturday, and then I can give you more input and more direction.